Well, good evening, everyone. It certainly is a pleasure to be here. First, let me apologize. I'm overdressed. I have a suit and tie on, and I swear, back in my suitcase, I have a pair of ripped jeans and a t-shirt, and I'll wear them tomorrow. So I'll learn my lesson. My name is Tom Sevo. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for the Interpublic Group. And the Interpublic Group is a global advertising company based in New York City. You may have seen some of our ads. We do ads for Geico, for Chevrolet, pickup trucks and cars, Microsoft, MasterCard. And we've had a long-standing relationship with UNO. It goes back 8 years. In fact, the core of our infrastructure, our technology, our data center, and the core of our network is right down the road at the Scott Technology Center. And I want to thank Dr. Hisham Ali and Dr. Deepak Kazanchi and Ken Moriano and all those folks who helped grow that relationship and helped that partnership really flourish for both IPG and UNO. We have a great internship program where UNO students come right into our work environment and help us out with our collaborative and creative work. So thank you for that. I've been on the advisory board for about 5 years and have supported the Women in IT initiative and CodeCrush from the start. It's a fantastic program. I just want to congratulate all the young women here for being accepted into it, be part of it. Relish the moment, take advantage of tonight and tomorrow. It's a great opportunity for you to grow. And my message to the young women in the room is we need you. Stay interested in technology. Stay interested in tech because you like living in the future. Or said another way, you like living as close to the future as possible. I bet that most of you here know about the latest gadgets, iPhones and Android tablets as they come out. I bet you know about, the latest apps to be downloaded and are the cool ones. I bet you know about the latest game consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, and I bet you help your friends and your family members ahead of everyone else. So that's kind of living as close to the future as possible, being an ambassador of the future and translating that to your friends and family. And I have no doubt that if you stay focused and stay interested in tech and you live as close to the future as possible, that some of you are going to define the future. You're going to define the next iPhone and Android tablet. You're going to define a better app. You're going to define a better video game console. Forever, and then you're going to explain that to us, older people and younger people, on how we should use this technology. I'm looking around for, oh, there she is. Okay, I was looking back there. So I'm super excited, super psyched to introduce another young woman who has stayed interested in technology, has been living as close to the future as possible, and through her work has helped define and influence the future. We'll hear a little bit about that. Her name is Luria Petrucci. She's a pioneer in podcasting and live streaming since 2005. Were any of you born back then? 2005? A couple? Most. Who was born in 2005 or before? She's grown an audience of, listen to this, 2 million social followers. So I've got a Twitter account with a couple of people that follow me, but not 2 million social followers. And she's provided hosted video and produced live streams for Samsung, Panasonic, AT&T, OnStar, Dish Network, Verizon, Bausch & Lomb, BBC Click. She teaches small businesses, I should say small business owners and entrepreneurs how to get more traffic, fans, sales through live streaming and online video at geeksuniversity.com. It's a great site. Check it out. Keep it in your bookmarks. really insightful site for what's going on in tech. So when I tweeted Luria about the UNO Women in IT CodeCrush forum, I was shocked. She immediately tweeted back, and she went out of her way to accommodate us to be here. And I personally wanted to thank her for her spirit and interest in CodeCrush. So, ladies and gentlemen, and young women, our ambassadors of the future, please welcome Luria Petrucci.
Thank you for that nice intro. That was awesome. And thank you for tweeting me. Of course. Because now I get to be here, which is an incredible experience. So thank you for having me. Oh, I got double mic there. How was the food? Yeah? Oh, we almost had a clap. You guys excited about tomorrow? How many of you been here before? Okay, don't be shy. Come on. Raise him up. Awesome. And one guy. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Big mistake. Sorry. Embrace that. Embrace that. Okay, so hi. When I discovered code, if I work my prompter here, when I discovered code, I was 14 years old. And I had no idea at that time that it was going to change my life. At that time, I was a super shy, super geeky girl. How many can relate? Like yeah. I was, at that time, I wore, glasses that I, kind of the epitome, like just like kind of covered my face. I didn't feel comfortable in them. I was happy when, although that's kind of cool now, isn't it? It wasn't back then. But I also was, I was so shy that people called me a snob because I couldn't get up the courage to talk to anybody. I couldn't get up the courage to like say, hi, and introduce myself to anybody. So they thought I was a snob, and so I really didn't fit in anywhere. I was a straight A student. I was in all the honors classes. I was doing well in the SMART department, but I just didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. The only place I felt like I fit in was, I guess, the library. I spent a lot of time in the library, and I really wanted to spend all my time there just kind of soaking up information and just kind of being by myself, because that's what made me comfortable. And the only other place I felt comfortable was sports, which is kind of an odd combo. But what I liked about sports was that I could learn to push myself. I could push the boundaries of what I was, who I was, and then I could, just challenge myself. I liked that process. But what I didn't like about sports were the people, because again, I couldn't figure out how to talk to anybody. So anyway, I discovered code somehow, some way. I just, I was interested in the websites that were showing up at that point, and this was 20 years ago. So old status here. Yeah, especially since none of you were born in 2005. So, I discovered code, and I started building my own websites, and I started just playing around with this process. And back then, there was no opportunity that exists like this, where I could come and learn and immerse myself in it. I literally had to go get a book, like a real paperback book, and learn from that how to code and how to build my own websites. And so the first few websites I did over the next couple of years really weren't of any interest whatsoever. They were just kind of silly little things about myself. And then if you fast forward several years later, I discovered podcasting, and this was in 2005, as Tom mentioned. And podcasting was revolutionary. You guys are all familiar with podcasting at this point, right? Yes. Anybody not? Okay, good. So podcasting at that time was revolutionary. It was RSS, the ability to deliver content to anybody, however they wanted, whenever they wanted, wherever they wanted. And nothing like that existed at the time. And so I was really interested. I was like, okay, so how does this work? And so I started diving into it. And about the same time, Apple announced their very first video iPod. And this was before the iPhone existed. So I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. So video iPod, and then you've got the podcasting capability. They're about to take this to the masses. And so there was going to be about 2 months between when they announced it and when they released it for the public to be able to buy it. And so within that 2 months, I was like, okay, I'm going to figure out how to get a video podcast out the door. And 2 days before Christmas in 2005, I did. I had a day job at that point, and I spent night and day just trying to figure out how to get this done. This is a screenshot from my actual first show, which was wretched at the time. Like the first time you do anything, it's always bad. But it was out and no one else was doing this. So people were downloading it. They were kind of forced to watch me because I was the only one out there. And so I got the benefit of that. And within a couple of weeks, there were a couple of thousand people watching my show. And then within 5 months, I was able to quit my day job and do this show full time. I was making money at it, and it became my full-time career from then on. Now, if we fast forward another 11 years, then I've been doing this entire career from day one to now. And, like Tom said, we've built up 2 million social media followers. I've built up a community of tech geeks who are passionate about the topic. And I get to meet them. I go all around the world, Australia, Germany, London, Japan twice, Canada. Does that count? Sorry, Canadians. I love you, Canadians. But it's a wonderful experience, right? This amazing community. And like he said, I've been able to represent all of these amazing companies, and I've had a wonderful amount of success by anyone's standards. But what's interesting about this story is not the success that I've had. That's one part of it. But what's interesting is if I come back to the day that I decided to do this podcast, the day I decided to fiddle around with that RSS feed and put a video podcast out there, it was that day that changed my life. And that day wouldn't have happened had I not started coding at 14. Back then in 2005, RSS feeds were all manual. Right now, they're all automatic. You don't have to know a single piece of code. You don't have to know any piece of technology. You don't have to know anything in order to get a podcast out the door. Back then, you had to do it all manual. And so in order to get that content out there, I had to fiddle around with it. I had to put it in, and I had to send it out to the interwebs. But had I not had the knowledge base, had I not had the experience, had I not had the confidence that I could actually do that, I probably would not be standing here today with the story that I have. There was so much, 2 months to go from the time I decided to do it to get it out the door. I only had those 2 months in order to be part of the video revolution that existed. And I had to learn how to be on camera. Super shy girl here. I had to figure out what a camera was and how to use it. I had to figure out how to create content, what kind of content I wanted to create. There was so much that was overwhelming that had I had to learn code on top of that, I probably wouldn't have done it. And that's the thing. Life presents opportunities to you all the time. That podcasting idea was an opportunity presented to me. What is it that you are going to do with the opportunities that lie in front of you is the big question. And even more important, are you prepared to take advantage of those opportunities, right? So because I was prepared, because I had that experience, that knowledge, that confidence, I was prepared to take advantage of a life-changing opportunity. And, you know, opportunities exist. The future of this world is in the technology, the science, the engineering, the math fields, right? And of course, you all are interested in technology. Regardless of what you want to do throughout your life, if you want to do anything to change the world or to change to do that. So these opportunities are around. And there is, you're part of it, a huge women in tech movement. There is so many opportunities available to you as a woman interested in technology. You've probably heard a lot of it. You're involved in it right now. But you have the option to get free or low-cost education and pretty much anything that you want. You have the ability to start a woman-owned business as you get older, and there are grants available for you to do that. So there are so many opportunities available. What are you going to do with those opportunities? And I just want to take a second. Have anybody of you heard of this book, Big Magic? No, not even. Okay. Oh, a couple. Okay. So Elizabeth Gilbert is amazing. She talks a lot about opportunities and ideas, kind of interchangeably. And I just want to read a quick excerpt from this book, and I encourage you to actually go home and read it. She says, which is not something I realized until I read this book, that we are all creative people. Like, I don't really think of myself as a creative person. Who thinks of themselves as a creative person? Mostly adults, okay. So I never thought of myself as a creative person. My dad was a creative person. He was an artist. And I was always like, oh, I didn't get any creativity. But we as humans are all creative. When you're writing code, when you're programming something, that's a creative process. Anyway, great book. You know, she says, be ready. Keep your eyes open. Listen. Follow your curiosity. Ask questions. Sniff around. Remain open. Trust in the miraculous truth that new and marvelous ideas are looking for human collaborators every day. Ideas of every kind are coming toward passing through us, constantly trying to get our attention. Let them know that you are available. And for heaven's sake, try not to miss one. So opportunities exist. What are you going to do with them? Now, as awesome as the tech community is, and as many opportunities that lie in front of you, and it's an amazing situation that you're in at your age in this space and time that we are in. But it's not all rainbows and unicorns, unfortunately. There are some challenges that you are going to face being a woman in tech. And I want to make you aware of them. I want you to be aware of them so that they're not challenges that hit you upside the head when they come about. And you know, that you're ready and capable of dealing with them. These are some of the comments that I get on a very, very regular basis doing what I do, almost daily. She's damn annoying. This video is ruined because of her. All right, that's whatever. You're so stupid. Stop talking. She's just a cute little bitch that's here to attract viewers. I get that one a lot. And please do the next video topless. Almost every single day I get those kind of comments. And some of them are a factor of me being a woman doing tech videos online, which some of you may not do that. Some of it is a factor of just me doing anything online, regardless if I'm a female or a male, because the internet is a harsh place sometimes. And some of it is stuff that you will encounter. I hate to say that. I wish we were past it, but especially the stuff about you can't possibly understand this techie stuff. You can't possibly get this or know more than me. That stuff that you will encounter. Has anybody encountered that already? That sucks. Way too many. So that's something that, totally exists. And, I regardless of why those comments exist and why they happen, they're not okay. They're not okay for that to be a part of your life. For so many years, I have heard from people I trust, from random strangers, from everybody, that I need to, how do I say this politely? Forget polite. Sex it up. I'm a woman in tech. I need to sex it up. I need to make it sexier for men to watch or to be a part of. Or even just at a basic level, they've told me I need to be a certain way, look a certain way, do certain things. And it's not been a pleasant experience, but I'm going to admit something to you that I really don't talk about. There have been times when that pressure has been so strong that I kind of caved. More so, I felt like, well, you know what? This is probably just the way the world works. So slap on some more eye makeup, be who they think I should be. And when I look back at some of those videos, I'm just completely embarrassed, like way too much eye makeup, like way just over the top, because it didn't resonate with who I was. So this is not something that is the way the world works. You do not have to tolerate it. You don't have to allow people to tell you who to be or how to present yourself. It doesn't have to be a part of what you allow in to your head or to your heart or to your inner being, right? So you don't have to tolerate it. And if anybody tells you that you should be a certain way and you have to do this, if you have to convince yourself that that's the way the world works or that's what you have to do because they probably know better, it's not the right decision for you, right? If it doesn't resonate with who you are, it's not the right decision and you shouldn't tolerate it. The other thing that you might encounter is the immense pressure from, seems the world to me, that you have to know everything. If you are interested in tech as a woman, you have to know it all. I just really want to encourage you that it is okay to say, I don't know. There's no other option in life. Like, we cannot know it all. There is no possible way. So say, I don't know. It's okay, because then you can grow and you can learn and you can experience new things. And then that kind of feeds right into this mentality that is so super prevalent in this tech world. I've seen it constantly throughout the entire time, the 11 years that I've been in it. And it's this attitude of, if you don't know as much as I know, you're stupid. If you can't do what I can do, you're worthless. And I hope that you haven't experienced that yet, but that is something that is very, very prevalent. And I guess it comes from a younger age when, how many of you feel like it's okay for you to be geeky at school? A few hands. Okay. Maybe a little bit. Okay. Well, that's good, because when I was in school, it definitely was not okay. And I think I think this attitude comes from people feeling the need to, being bullied or being made fun of, or it not being okay to be geeky in school. And here's where I'll call on you teachers. Teachers, raise your hands. I think you can actually make a difference in the next generation, where you create a more inclusive environment. You create something that is not so mean towards anything different, right? And I feel like I was just mean, and I apologize for that. But there is, there's a huge thing that happens in the classrooms, and there's something that you can do about it. You can create this inclusive environment where everybody is accepting of each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think it starts there. I don't know for sure, but maybe you can give me some feedback in this. I feel like it starts there because as they get older, they've just developed this reaction to anybody who may challenge them a little bit. And that's where if you don't know what I know, you're worthless attitude comes from. And students, you will figure out what your strengths are over time. You'll figure out what your weaknesses are. You may have an idea of that stuff already. And what's beautiful about strengths and weaknesses, because we all have them, is when you know your strength and when you know your weakness, you can look to somebody else who may match your weakness. Maybe their strength is what you're bad at. And then you can work together. You can create something amazing and awesome just by matching and accepting your weakness, not try to hide it or shove it under the bed. Accepting that weakness and celebrating your strength. The celebration of your strength is something that I know I was uncomfortable with for many, 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 many years. I don't think it's something that's really celebrated at your age. And again, teachers, you're the majority in one place, so I'm going to look over here. Sorry. This is another thing. Like I think girls have a hard time boasting. Boys don't have any problem doing that at all. Let's just face it, right? But girls at this age, in the school, in the classroom, and all of that, they have this problem. Maybe there's a boy in class that they like and they don't want to, maybe call the wrong kind of attention to themselves. So if you create this inclusive environment and you create this environment that is where strengths are beautiful and weaknesses are okay, I think we can really make a difference, at least start the process, because it's going to be a lot of different things that happen that make a difference in this situation. But girls, accept and boast. Don't be stupid prideful, but accept, like, that strength is what makes you beautiful, and work at it and increase it and make it something that really defines you and what you can do. I found my strength after 34 years. It took me a long time. And surprise, surprise, it had absolutely nothing to do with being a pretty girl talking about tech on video. I was shocked to learn that because I was told otherwise. My strength actually turned out to be that I could figure out how to explain hard to understand topics. And I could just break it down for people to get it. And then I could get people excited about that topic at hand. And so it turned out that was my strength. After 34 years, I finally figured that one out. And when I realized that, I also realized something else, which was even more powerful. I can take that strength and I can do anything with it. So what I did was I spent the last year learning or building an entirely new business. So I still do the tech videos, but I also take that same strength and work it in another way by helping businesses and entrepreneurs grow their own brands by using the tools that I've been using since I started coding at 14. So I've taken all of that, right? So it's not a direct path of code to where I am. I am in the tech field, but I want to call out Cassie actually over here. She's running the hangout back there. She is a student here at UNO, right? Oh, sorry. Okay, you graduated last year. But when you were a student, she was convinced by Associate Dean, Deepak, to take an IT class. She was actually going to school for English. She was an English major. She didn't really like it. She was convinced to take an IT class, and she actually really liked it. But surprise, surprise, she hasn't. She's not going into IT, which I know, Dean, I know we all want everybody to go into the IT department, but I want to encourage you to take your strengths and figure out what you're really passionate about as well, whether that's IT or something else. And what she discovered was she was really passionate about, how did you call it? Digital humanities, where people, humanities, where like you take Shakespearean text and you digitize that. Hopefully I'm getting this right, because I just learned about it. And you take that and you make it open to the masses, correct? Something to that effect. You analyze all the data and all the words and all of that, right? So that's not a direct IT, situation. But sometimes these opportunities, like where you are here today, can lead you to your passion. So I really want you to find your own path, and sometimes that is by trying things. That's by exploring and experimenting. Had she not taken that class, she didn't want to, she wasn't interested in it, but had she not, she wouldn't be where she is today. And I was talking to her, and she was so passionate about what she's discovered about her strengths and her passions, right? And so that, you started here today, and who knows where it will lead. Hopefully it leads somewhere in the tech world. But also, if it doesn't, at least you have the education, and you have the preparation, and you have the knowledge base. It'll probably be somewhat in the tech world, but it may, you have so many different paths that you can take, and that's okay too. So try, experiment, absorb all of the opportunities that exist for you here today. I want to share this video with you. Danica McKellar, so you guys probably might not know her. Teachers, parents, you guys know her. Danica McKellar was a childhood TV star. She starred in a show called Wonder Years, or The Wonder Years. I never watched it myself. So she was it was a super popular TV show. It was something that everybody watched apparently. And Danica, after many years, she found herself with a TV show that had ended, and she didn't know what to do. So she thought, well, I'll go to college, I'll become a film major. Then, everybody was like, oh, hey, you're Winnie, from the TV show. And they wouldn't let her go past that. And she really needed to find her strength. And so I'm going to let her tell you the rest of her story.
I was going to be a film major, but I decided to take this math class. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I was afraid of it. I'd gotten a 5 on the AP Calculus BC exam, which is the highest score you can get on the most difficult calculus exam offered in high school. And I didn't think I'd do well. Who did I think would do well? Somebody who looked the part more than me. When I took my first multivariable calculus class, I scored at the top of the class, 163 people. The professor actually graphed the scores on the chalkboard. I'll never forget it. My score was the 22 and then 2 15s, and then it was 9 and below. And I was stunned. I was floored. I could not believe that I'd done so well. The professor came up to me and said, you have a gift in math. You should really pursue this. You should be a math major. What? A math major? I thought that a math class in college would be hard enough. A couple days later in that class, this kid tapped me on the shoulder, said, excuse me, are you that girl? And that question always ends with, from TV or who played Winnie? He goes, excuse me, aren't you that girl who got the 22? I was like, yes. It was me. I became a calculus tutor in the department. I excelled in my classes and I loved it. I had the opportunity to co-author a research paper. We proved a new theorem, percolation and Gibbs-Davis multiplicity for ferromagnetic Ashkin-Teller models on IS&T, also known now as the Shays-McKellar theorem. I discovered that I could be smart and capable and valuable for something that had nothing to do with Hollywood. This is me, and it felt great.
I love that. And that's going to be you. By being here today, you have the opportunity to experience exactly what she experienced because she's trying new things. And so continue to explore the opportunities that exist. And I know that at your age, it is brutal to be different. I know that it's kind of a death sentence. Clicks rule the world, and they tell you who you should be and who you shouldn't be. They tell you who to be. They tell you what to wear. They tell you what you can do and say, and all of it. But you are unique, and you have something special to say. Take what you have here today, because while you're here, there are no clicks, right? There are no clicks happening, right? Please tell me no. That's my understanding of this event. It's so open and everybody's just kind of engaged with each other. And so take that back home and embrace your uniqueness. Embrace those strengths that you learn about on a daily basis, and go home and continue to develop those strengths and that uniqueness. Code, no one can express your heart like you can. No one can share their passions like you can. So go out there, find your own path, develop your strengths, and go crush it. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. I am inspired by watching you guys. I didn't have these opportunities as a kid, so you're kind of kids. I didn't have the opportunities at your age, and so thank you, and I look forward to getting to know you. Thank you.